Today is the 8th day. Me'al Teva, above nature. So last week, I told you that the word Shuvah comes in an acronym, remember? And I gave 5 verses of the acronym. Today I want to learn the first verse, which is Tamim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha, and explain it very briefly, not to get too much deep and complicated. That's where things become hard to handle. Simple and fast, easier to do. So I told you that the word Shuvah, if Shuvah is hard for you, then you break it into 5 segments, which will be the letters of each one of the 5 letters of the word Shuvah. The first one was the verse Tamim Tiyeh Hashem Elokecha, that you should be wholehearted with your God. And to understand that, Judaism comes and elevates or makes an importance when a person is tamim. Where do we see it the first time? Is with Yaakov Avinu. He was tamim. Ish tam yoshev ohalim. What is tamim? The translation of tamim is innocence. But the best way to explain it is completeness. And this is a very, very high level in service of Hashem. Because in one way you are innocent, like a child, like a baby. You're not judgmental. You don't see bad in others. You have this innocence. Now, and I'm not talking about a gullible or naive. I'm talking about a purity. So this innocence, this tmimut, is purity. I mean, I'm a rasha gamur, how I look at myself. My wife, I don't even know how she even accepted to marry me. Sometimes how she talks, I'm like, next to her, I'm like afar va'efer. I look at a certain individual, how they behave in my mind, how I dissect that individual. And she can't see anything bad about anybody. And I'm like, what? That guy's a crook. No, he's so nice. So I don't have it, unfortunately. Maybe one day, in 50 years, I'll have this tmimut in me. Maybe when you come from a background with no tmimut, then it sticks there for 60 years. But some individual, this innocence, I wouldn't even call it innocence, I would call it purity. You have another word for us? Untainted. Untainted. But nevertheless, this tmimut, this innocence, this untainted, this completeness, the Torah comes and puts it above everything. Right? Now, how do you get to this level of this simplicity how do you get to this level of this tmimut is simplicity with pashtut? And again, I'll say it again, so I need to it to resonate in my mind, not in your ears. How do you get to this level of tmimut is with pashtut, with simplicity. What's the opposite of simplicity? How do you get to this pashtut? Is you have to run away from what's called hitchakmut. Hitchakmut is philosophizing, right? Or how would you say? Not analytics. There's another word, sophistry, right? Sophistry? Sophistication. It's hitchakmut. Don't be a wise tuchis. This is the complete opposite of pashtut. So how do you get to this simplicity? Is that you run away from, being a wise whatever. And from another thing which is called hitnasut. Hitnasut is condensation. That's how you say it? Condescending. So you got to run away from this condescending, and also the philosophizing. All these 2 things, this hitchakmut and hitnasut. Okay? Now, when you're able to do that, then you reach to a level of simplicity. With simplicity, you become tamim. And Yaakov Avinu was ish tam yoshev ohalim. He was yoshev ohalim, learning Torah, but first of all, he was ish tam. After that, he was Yoshev Ohalim. The Baal Shem Tov comes and tells us, Tam, higher than Yoshev Ohalim. Yoshev Ohalim means that you sit and learn Torah all day long. You sit and learn Torah all day long, you are Malach Elokim. But Tam, Tmimut, it's above. So the way to do tshuva, Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Bring yourself to a level that you are simple, you are whole, innocent, that you're pure. That's how you do tshuva. That's one of the segments of doing tshuva. I want to read something about what Rabbi Nachman says. Rabbi Nachman מבresלב הגדיל לעשות, he took it to the next level, כאשר אחד הנושאים המרכזיים החוזרים ונשנים לאין מספר בדבר הוא שבחי התמימות. The main thing that he focused on, Rabbi Nachman from Breslov, whatever had to do with tmimut, with this simplicity. And according to Rabbi Nachman, b'shitato hatam ole al hachacham. According to Rabbi Nachman, tam, a person who's whole, pure, and complete, is greater than a chacham. And we don't have much chachamim in our generation, by the way. Rav Ovadia was chacham Ovadia. How many chachamim do we have? I'm not talking about a chacham balayla. I'm talking about a real chacham. And according to Rabbi Nachman, tam ole al chacham. So when we want to approach the tshuva the right way, tamim tiyeh im Hashem imlokecha. Don't come and start having condensation onto the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Don't come and have sophistry and philosophizing on the Kadosh Baruch Hu. When you come and להתחכם עם הקדוש ברוך הוא, this is a problem that many people have. They start becoming chochmolog, as they say. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. The Kadosh Baruch Hu tells you to be tamim. If I come and tell my child now, a 2-year-old, a 3-year-old, anything, wow. That's how you have to do. Hashem tells you, love everybody. Okay. Don't get angry. Oh, wow. Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Take the word of Hashem in the most innocent way. You know, Adam and Chava were innocent. They would walk around naked. They didn't even see any deficiency. They didn't look at each other body parts. This tmimut, I sometimes look at the little kids, the purity. Halavai, I had this purity. Not to be judgmental, not to lose my anger, not to lose my temper, not to look at other people like as if I'm better than them. You look at another person right away, arrogance. Put two babies, a 1.5-year-old in the same playpen. Right away they play with each other. Okay, I know somebody will distort what I'm saying and they fight with the toy. It's my toy, it's my toy. But nevertheless, look at the tmimut of the purity of the child, and this is what Hashem tells us, Tamim tiyeh im Hashem Elokecha. Be wholehearted with the Kadosh Baruch Hu. Kadosh Baruch Hu already will bring you to much higher levels, and that will allow you to do serious tshuva, because you're already looking everything from above and not from below.